Alright, welcome back viewers. Hope y'all having a good week. We fixing to work on the old 72 here. Got it up on the ramps. Gonna change the transmission fluid in it. Hope you guys enjoy, follow along. If you want to see more content, give us a like and subscribe, guys. Our content ratings are moving on up. They are up to 79 subscribers now. We're getting closer and closer to that 100 subscriber mark, guys. Let's keep pushing, let's keep building, let's put it together. We're gonna build this YouTube channel, make it something good. She's a 72 360 FE. Let's jump right in, guys. Alright guys, let's get started on this fluid change here. Give me 1 second to get my creeper operated again, because I'm laying on a sheet of plywood. Alright guys, so how I'm going to do this, I'm going to take all the bolts out except for this one, one of these corner bolts, one of these corner bolts, and one of these corner bolts. Basically I'm leaving the 4 corner bolts in. I'm going to take everything else out, then I'm going to loosen these 2 bolts here just a tad. Then I'm going to loosen these over here enough to allow the pan to drop when I loosen these more, because I want to drain it out this side right here. And the reason I want to do that is because of this cross member right here. If I drain it out right here, it's likely going to hit this cross member, because the back of the pan is right here. So if I drain it, it's likely going to hit right here. And I don't feel like taking a transmission fluid bath today. And I could have drained it out with a siphon and stuff like that. That's just a pain. I need to put a new filter in it anyway. I need to put a new gasket on it, so it needs to be done. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got the new filter gasket and 7 quarts of fluid. I'm not going to do a flush on it, because this is an old transmission. I've heard a lot of bad things about flushing old transmissions. And I'm not perfect on flushing transmissions. I've never done it. And I've got to redo the lines and stuff on this one anyway, because I've got a couple of lines that they're touching the header. And I don't know if you guys can see me or not. I do apologize. It's hard to film up under a car. But I've got to redo the transmission lines anyway, because they're literally on that header right there. So what I want to do is put new transmission lines in it and run them kind of outside the frame rail and up to the cooler, and then back here to the transmission. And for some reason it does have water in the transmission, so I'm going to check out the dipstick tube as well and see if the seal on it is gone. I don't remember these having a seal on the dipstick tube, but I'm sure they do. They have to have some kind of seal on it. But we're going to do that, and I am just hoping that the water in this transmission is not coming from the cooler on the radiator. If it's coming from the cooler on the radiator, then I'm not replacing this radiator. It's a $400 radiator, and I just can't afford that. I found a cooler kit on Amazon that's got the cooler. I think you get a fan with it or something like that, I'm not sure. But you get the cooler and some hosing for like 50 or 60 bucks. So that's not bad. Maybe one day I'll be able to put a radiator in this truck. I'd love to be able to, but it's just not in the money cards right now. If someone has a connection and would like to send me one, please contact me. I'd be grateful for any help I could receive from anybody on these projects. I'm working hard to make good content. Let's keep going, guys. So it's going to get a bit loud. I may speed this part up. We're going to use an air ratchet and zip these bolts out quicker, and then I'll swap to a manual ratchet for the last 4 bolts. So if you have your earphones in, probably would turn the volume down. Ow. Come on, really? I've been having problems with my air hose lately, so you guys have to forgive me for that one. Alright, let's start with this center bolt right here. Make sure you're going in reverse, because this is an aluminum transmission. guys, I brought back a couple of secret weapons. One is an S wrench. That's what I call them anyway. 13 millimeter for these bolts, guys. Right. And I also brought out a swivel. We're gonna give it a try. So hopefully it'll keep this process moving. That's going to be too big of an angle for the extension, for the swivel. What about from the other direction? Guys, I've had this out before, I just don't remember how I've done it. Yeah, that's too tight for that too. Well, it looks like we're going old school, fellers and fellettes. Oh, is the old school even gonna get in there? Oh, I don't think so. Uh-oh. We might be in a pickle, guys. I may have to go get a regular wrench. Well, it gets on that one. Oh, this is gonna be a slow process. There's gotta be a better way. I could really use some swivel sockets, I guess. Fortunately, I don't have any. Alright guys, let me get this taken care of and I'll bring you back. I forgot I had it. Sometimes it's good to have tools and forget you have them. Right guys? Seems to be working good so far. I believe it's only like the second time I've used this little ratchet. Very good tool to have. Oh yeah, there we go. Locked onto that one good that time. Hopefully you're up under here where that wind noise is not bothering you guys too bad. Alright, let's set their finger loose now. Make sure I got all the other bolts out. Yeah. Got this front one to get out up here. I'm going to take all the front ones out. Except for the two corner ones. You want to leave those in. Alrighty guys, we got two more to take out on the front and then we should be good. We'll be ready to start loosening those four corner ones. Taking them out. I want to get my drain pan and stuff up where it needs to be for those. I'm sure this is probably going to make a mess, but it's made a mess every other time I've changed it, so why would this time be any different? This transmission, I've had it out and apart before. I put a new rear seal, new front seal, new pump seals and gaskets. A couple other things have been done to it. I don't remember what they were though. It's just an old basic Ford C6. Good strong transmission, I'll give it that. This has been a good old truck though. I haven't really had any complaints about it. Just when gas prices got so bad it eat me up to drive it. And they're still bad, but they're not as bad as they were. I want to take a peek at this gasket looking thing on the dipstick tube while I'm right here. It doesn't appear that this one has one. But we'll dig a little deeper and see. Let's see, it bolts on right there, so I should be able to get to it from right there. I think it may be leaking around the top, to be honest. But I don't know how, because there's no water getting down in there. So it's either got to be coming from here, or it's got to be coming from that radiator. Lord, I hope it's not coming from that radiator. Because that's just something that's very hard to change. We'll see though after this. Because after this, I'm going to start driving it pretty good. If it gets more water in it, we'll know it's coming from that radiator. We'll just have to see. Alright guys, let's get all our tools out of the way. Except for the ones we're going to be using. Let's see, put that over here. We'll use this ratchet. Now let me fix a place to put these bolts, guys. Please set them on this box. They shouldn't go anywhere. You want to make sure you have you a good sized drain pan, and I'm not talking about like a big deep 5-gallon bucket. I mean something that's gonna have a big enough top on it to be able to catch all the fluid that drains out. And I may still try to drain it from this end. We'll just have to see. I mean, I don't remember how I done it last time. That's my only issue. Of course, I also had it sitting on taller ramps last time too. I just used my little short plastic ramps today, and they seem to hold this truck pretty good. They're what are they? Rhino ramps, I think. I've showed them to you guys in a video before. And guys, you let me know if these videos are too long, or if I need to cut them up into sections, or what you guys think. This truck has a low car kickdown cable too, and bracket. Because whenever I put the 2-barrel, the 4-barrel on the 2-barrel, the kickdown lever wouldn't work anymore. So I went to a low car kickdown cable. That made it a little bit easier. Move that air hose. Lay my ratchet on this side. Let's see. Turn your spout uphill so it doesn't run out if it overfills. Alright, so I'm going to leave those two in. Take this one, and this one out. And I'll start with this one because it's in the middle, I guess. We'll try to drain it just straight on. What's it gonna hurt? Make a little mess? Right. Won't need nothing but anti-rust coating, right guys? I hope you guys can still see with that container there. This truck doesn't have a whole lot of rust in it though. It's got some rust in the floor pans. Just a little bit here and there, if that's about it. A little bit in the bed, but the bed's not as bad as I've seen on some of them. What really hurt it was somebody took and put sheet metal over the rust holes, and the water got up behind it and caused it to rust out more. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this one. Just a tad. I want to loosen this one. Because I'm trying desperately not to take a bath in transmission fluid. Because this stuff does not come out easily. This one should be good and loose enough now. And once I start loosening those front bolts, this pan will drop down a little bit. And then I can kind of control the speed at which it flows so I know where it's going to drain from and what it's going to do. So don't remove these front bolts all the way. For anybody that may be learning how to do this through this video, don't take these all the way out. Just loosen them till they're almost out, but you still need enough threads to keep it in there and hold the weight of the pan. Because if that pan drops, you're going to be in a world of trouble. Well, not really trouble. You're just going to be in a mess. And then you're going to be laying in transmission fluid for the rest of this project. Alright, let's see. Get my drain pan situated. I'm going to scoop my butt up a little bit. Alright, come on. Cooperate here. There, let's do it this way. Oh, come on, really? Well, this is not a pain at all. Good, it's gonna, evidently I put sealant on it last time, so it looks like it's gonna hold a little bit for me while I loosen these bolts down. So I gotta find that bolt first. I don't remember if I put sealant on this thing last time or not. Can't remember. Alright, now we'll move back to this one. Alright, I think that's going to be it for now. Let's see if I can pop it down a little bit. Hopefully that'll get a shower. I probably should have brought something to pry on it with. I was trying to be prepared and wound up being unprepared. Let's see here. Alright guys, went and got some more tools. See if we can drain it this time. If my creeper will roll around and cooperate, right? Alright. In hindsight, I probably should have done this from the other side, but it'll be alright. Let's see here. Let's try. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, that's Pepto-Bismol pink right there, buddy. And hopefully what this stuff is, it'll circulate, clean the transmission out for me, carry most of that water with it, and I'll change it again in a few weeks after I've driven it a little bit, and hopefully it's kind of dissipated some of that water. But if it comes out this pink again, especially after I change it the second time, then it's got to be a leak in that radiator up there. I could probably take my finger and dip it in it a little bit and taste it and see if I can taste the antifreeze. Do not try that. It's not recommended. Do it at your own risk. Don't be dumb like I am. But because I put a newer style antifreeze in it that is bitter because animals don't want to drink it, if it tastes bitter, and I mean bitter, like severe bitter, then I'll know that it's got antifreeze in it. But if it's not bitter or sweet, then I'll know that it's coming from rainwater. But I don't see how that much rainwater would have gotten in it. I just don't. So I think I may be looking at a radiator leak, unfortunately. I will take some carburetor cleaner and spray all up in there and clean all that out. Try to do what I can for it. Get it all cleaned up. May have to make them run to AutoZone and pick up me some absorbent pads and stuff like that. And we'll just let this sit here and drain for a little bit, guys. Now that it's getting low, I'll try to go ahead and get that other bolt out. Drop it. Get this pan dropped all the way. Because now what I should be able to do is lift it up, put one bolt back in it, then go to the other side and take the other bolt out. Then I can take them both out and drop the pan. Because this is the most downhill side, so this is about as most as it's going to go. And you don't want to pull down on the pan because it'll bend the pan. And then you're in a world of trouble because it will never seal right. I think I put sealant on this one last time, but I do not remember, guys. Because like I said, it's been so long since I've done this. Take your grease rag and wipe it off a little bit so you're not getting dripped on. Because you're going to be reaching across to the other side, so that means this has got to go over here out of the way for a minute.